In today's video, we're talking about the narcissist's #1 secret weapon he or she uses on a victim that isn't talked about very much. Today, we're talking about neglect and how they use it and what they benefit from using neglect and subjecting you to neglect. If you're new to this channel, I would like to invite you to please subscribe and be sure and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in private one-on-one narcissistic abuse recovery coaching with me, please visit my website linked in the description below. So today we're talking about how narcissists utilize neglect to their advantage and how it is an extremely devastating abuse tactic that has very big payoffs for the narcissist in their personal agenda. One of the main reasons that they use neglect is because it works so incredibly well. All narcissists utilize neglect as part of the way they establish and maintain the trauma bond and use during the devalue cycle. Nothing gets the message across that you're unworthy, not valuable, not important, and not respected quite as well as neglect. That's the first reason they utilize this form of abuse and manipulation tactic. You must remember, narcissists always need to believe and have you believe that you are inferior to them. You are beneath them and of very little worth. And neglect is an absolutely perfect way to condition and groom a victim to accept this phony and abusive narrative as truth, which is exactly what the narcissist wants you to believe and is a form of gaslighting at its absolute finest. Next, another reason they love to use neglect on their victims is because neglect isn't really considered abuse. Although in reality, it absolutely is a form of abuse, but neglect is a perfect tool for a narcissist to use while at the same time seemingly keeping their hands clean because it's not flat out abuse. Another reason that narcissists love and enjoy subjecting you to neglect is because if you have a problem with it, which any normal person would, they can switch the script and gaslight you by saying, you're reading way too much into it, and then further condemning you by saying, you're just too sensitive. They did nothing wrong. You interpreted it the wrong way because you're so super sensitive, which in turn puts all the blame on the victim, grooming and conditioning them to doubt themselves, doubt their reality, and make excuses for the narcissist when there is no excuse. It's an absolute abuse and devalue manipulation tactic, plain and simple, and you should be upset about it. However, if they can gaslight you into believing that you indeed are too sensitive and groom you into continually doubting yourself, they know you will become much, much easier to gain full power and control over. Remember, at the core of narcissistic abuse is psychological abuse or mental abuse. And life to a narcissist is one big psychological game, one which they love to play and will win at any cost. Many times, a consequence of being exposed to the narcissist's neglect and then being victim blamed and shamed because of your reaction to the blatant disregard and disrespect, it can actually produce guilt in the victim to the point that they feel pity and gratitude to the narcissist for putting up with them and their overly sensitive behavior, when in reality, nothing could be further from the truth.